Okay, I'm going to read from Courage to Change, which is a book um, from my Al Anon program. And I'm going to read on anger 167. This is June 15th. Many have fallen by the edge of the sword, but more have fallen by the tongue. This quotation calls attention to a weapon many of us have been known to use: sarcasm. The cutting remark, the snide innuendo, the scornful sneer. If I could see myself uttering verbal assaults, I would not be proud of the picture, so why do it? When I am angry or frustrated, I may get momentary satisfaction in a scorning hit. But does sarcasm get me what I truly desire? Will attacking someone else help me to solve the problems between us? Is this really the way I wish to behave? Of course not. Sometimes I feel helpless and angry. When that happens, I might try calling an Al Anon friend or going to a meeting where I can get some perspective. I might write down every nasty word I want to say and then read it to my sponsors. Sometimes it feels good to let it out, but I need to do it appropriately and not hurt others needlessly in doing so. Afterward, I'll be better able to behave constructively and communicate in a way I can be proud of. Today's reminder: most of us carry more than our share of shame. I will not add to the problem by using cruel, clever words to humiliate a fellow human being. In doing so, I would be shaming myself. Everyone in an alcoholic situation deserves and needs extra loving care. Yeah, that's a lot of good stuff in there. 193. Read a few of these. It seems to me many of us deal with our anger in inappropriate ways. Denying it, we stuff it, or we go off in a fury, directing the feelings outward. I, for one, opt for avoidance of any conflict, and then I end up turning into a doormat. The Al-Anon program encourages me to acknowledge my feelings and to be responsible for how I express them. The problem is not that I get angry, but that I do not know how to direct my anger appropriately. Lately, when I feel like hitting somebody, I take my pillow and beat the daylight out of my bed. When I want to wipe someone out, I attack a dirty oven. I try to release my anger as soon as I can so I won't build resentment that will be harder to get rid of later. I'm learning to communicate my anger too. I may not do it gracefully, and the words may not be well received. It means facing an awful discomfort called conflict, but I cannot run away anymore. Today's reminder: feeling our feelings is one important part of the recovery process. Learning how to balance our feelings with an appropriate action is another. When angry, count to 10 before you speak. If very angry, count to 100. That quote is from Thomas Jefferson. 237. I'm usually such a gentle, easygoing person that you'd never believe what happens when I get angry. I fly into rage. My blood pressure seems to double. I unleash torrent of profanity. After years in Al-Anon, my anger is still a problem, but my behavior has greatly improved. Some time ago, my dog got its feet tangled in an extension cord and broke a beautiful vase. My temper flared, and angry words cut like sharp swords. What helped me change this behavior was the look of hurt and bewilderment on my dog's face, my pet's face, and the sudden violent changes in me. If a little animal could respond this way, what were my outbursts doing to the people in my life who understood every word, every nasty word? Today's reminder: I am a human and I get angry, but I don't have to act out in anger I don't have to act out my anger in destructive ways. I do not have the right to take it out on others. Whether my usual response is to scream, sulk, in cold silence, or lash out with cruel words, today I can look at what I do when I get mad. Maybe next time I will try something new. We can pave the way for calm, reasonable communication only if we first find healthy outlets for our own negative feelings. That quote is from A Dilemma of the Alcoholic Marriage. Okay, 280. Whew. 280. Although the crisis that brought us to Al-Anon may be past, there's always something new to learn. Even after years of recovery, we change. Opportunities for spiritual growth as well as new character defects pop up like weeds in a newly mowed lawn, and we find ourselves turning to the steps for a fresh look. I experienced this one day when I noticed I had begun to be angry much of the time. I thought that other people and situations were to blame, but I decided to concentrate on my own part of the picture, and I took a written inventory of my memories, feelings, and behavior when I lost my serenity, and then read it out loud to someone I trust. As I read, the common thread in the exact nature of my wrongs jumped out at me. My problem was pride and arrogance, not my situation. The need to be right was robbing me of serenity in all kinds of situations. No matter how long I work on the Al-Anon program, I will never cease finding new ways to apply it to my life. That's a blessing, for it means my life will continue to get better. Today's reminder, there's something new for me to learn today. I will open my mind and my heart to the lessons my higher power brings. The important thing is to not stop questioning. And that quotation is from Albert Einstein. Anchor. 287. Al-Anon meetings opened my eyes to something I had never thought about before. Shouting and slamming doors were not the best way to handle an already difficult situation. When there may be no harm, an occasional letting off steam with a raised voice shouting can become a destructive habit. I'd never thought to ask myself if this was how I wanted to behave. Did this behavior get me what I wanted or encourage me to feel good about myself? When I took a good look, I realized the answer to this question was no. Loud, angry words and actions demonstrate frustration and push away all hope for peace, peaceful solutions to my problems. The slogan that helps me back to a rational state of mind is easy does it. When I use this slogan to quiet myself on the inside, it's easier to quiet the outside as well. I'm seeking a saner approach to everything I encounter. The slogans can be a valuable source of sanity in chaotic situations. Today, if I'm tempted to act out of anger or frustration, I will remember easy does it. I will try to apply easy does it to every incident that might increase the tension and cause an explosion. This is from One Day at a Time in Al-Anon, that book. .341, this next page. Before Al-Anon, I have sworn I didn't have an angry bone in my body. Through working the steps, however, I discovered without knowing it, I'd often been furious at the alcoholics in my life. I began to recognize anger while it was happening. At first, it felt great to reclaim this suppressed part of myself. I felt more whole, more powerful. But as time went on, I began to abuse my new-found sense of power. I blamed all my problems on the alcoholics, pushed everyone away, and felt worse than ever. Al-Anon has helped me bring the focus back to myself. If I'm unhappy with the situation, I can look at my part in it. I am powerless over alcoholism. Sometimes I feel angry about the fact, but the anger will not change it. Today I can get angry, express feelings in a healthier way I can find, and then let them go. Today's reminder: anger can give me an illusion of power. For a little while I may feel I have control over my situation and over other people. But that kind of false security always lets me down. The only real power available to me is that which is mentioned in the 11th step, the power to carry out God's will. Quote, no one can control the insidious effect of alcohol or its power to destroy the graces and decencies of life. But we do have power derived from God, and that is the power that will change our own lives. That is the power to change our own lives, one day at a time. And finally, 360. In Al-Anon, we learn to, quote, unquote, think. Before we react to angry outbursts and drunken accusations, we learn to hold our tongues when tempted to interfere in something that is clearly not our business. We learn the value of silence. I have the worst time with this one. Silence can be more cutting than cruel words when it's used to punish. Deliberately ignoring someone's attempts to communicate is no better than engaging in a battle of the words. Rage that is expressed non-verbally through cold looks and slammed doors is still rage. When I seek to hurt someone else with silence or any other weapon at my disposal, I always hurt myself. If I have something I need to say and is yet unable to say it in a constructive manner, perhaps I can go to an Al-Anon meeting or call my sponsor and release some of the explosive feelings. I will remember my aim is to heal myself, my relationships. I will try to make choices to support such a goal. Today's reminder: what message does my silence communicate? Today we'll try to align the stillness of my tongue with the stillness of spirit. If the silence has even a trace of anger or hostility, it loses all power. True quiet has the quality of serenity, acceptance, and peace. That's true. Well, those are the pages in the book, Courage to Change, about anger. And what I can tell you and share is that, I experienced frustration that turned to anger a lot. And I still do. I experienced it this Christmas because my kids and the limited communication, and there was communication breakdown. I think maybe some expectations on their part that I was just going to be around all day, and anyway, I'm still struggling. And my husband is gone. I used my qualifier, but I did actually work on myself quite a bit, and was in counseling, trying to using a counseling to help me make decisions in life. And I would like to, it would be really nice to be able to feel like I've grown a lot, and I know I'm not the only one that struggles with anger, but that one's a tough one. I think the big thing is just stopping when you're angry and just doing what you can to calm down. And that is something I'm still working on, because I tend to stay in it and then I talk. And so, I am very sorry I'm very sorry that I had anger this Christmas, but I did, and I just need to take responsibility for that. So, anyway, have a good day. Bye.